We looked up and there was a plane. Next thing you know, we heard boom. We ran up to the corner and hit right into the World Trade Center.
Can you tell us what kind of an airplane is it?
It had to be a 737 and had to hit the World Trade Center. It was a big, big plane.
You need to take a break.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, smoke and screaming and, screaming engines and all the fire engines and police departments are all traveling down that way. Oh, my God almighty, the black smoke all over the place. I hope nobody, there's got to be somebody killed in it. Poor people that went to work.
Look, Tony, we don't have any confirmation from any officials of this happening. Just repeat again, you were just going outside.
I was bringing the garbage out to the freight entrance when we heard this roaring engine. We looked up and there was the plane. Next thing we know, in a matter of seconds, we heard a boom. We went to the corner and there it was right in the middle of the World Trade Center.
Where are you standing right now, Tony?
I'm right in the building right now.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, people all staring up there, looking at it and all. Oh my God, the smoke is coming out, black billow smoke.
Okay, you can see we are physically looking at one of our sky cams right now. We can see billowing smoke from the top of the World Trade Center, Tony.
Yeah.
Are there other people that are around you at this point? Is everybody in pretty much of a state of shock?
Oh, of course they are. People are all in shock. The people in the building are in shock going out. My God almighty, this is a real disaster. This is worse than the one that hit the Empire State Building back in 1939 or 38, whenever that was.
Tony, how long ago did you witness this happening?
Oh, come on, 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago?
That's about all.
You need to take a break.
The black smoke all over the place.
Take a break.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Happy 9/11, everyone. 9/11/2025. It's Thursday, September 11th, 2025. It's the end of the Fakeologist week. We got a power-packed show for you guys tonight. We're streaming live on YouTube, on X, on D Live, on FakeoTube. We are paired up with the Infinite Plane Society, IPS.Monster. He's here tonight. We might get an appearance by Simon Shack, the creator of Clues Forum and September Clues, the penultimate video that exposes media fakery that we are stuck with all the time. And let me just say hi. Looks like our entire panel is here right now. So let me start with IPS of IPS.Monster, Tim Osmond. Hello, Tim.
Hey, happy hoax-iversary. 24
Happy
years.
Hoax-iversary to you.
Yeah, very big week. Obviously, a lot of things back-to-back going on, and I think they're all connected. Just right off the bat. The last few days of science. Yeah, because we want to look at these things real or fake, but we also have to consider the context. And we had the attempt on Trump last year, and now we have yesterday. And I think it would be a mistake to start off with, well, maybe this time it's real. It would be like saying maybe the next moon landing is real. So I'm glad to see that skepticism is off the charts on X, all kinds of people. And they're getting a lot of it wrong, but that's because there's been a lot of planted bad evidence, truth or bait, which is one thing we should probably discuss a little here, truth or bait. But overall, their attitudes seem to be right in terms of not everyone's going along with it. The ones who aren't blinded by emotion.
Truth or bait is a good word. And let me just say hi. I haven't talked to him in one whole year. Simon Shack looks like he's in the studio. Simon, can you hear me? Oh, please work. Simon, if you can hear me, say hi, all the way from Italy. And I'm not sure he can hear me, but I can't hear him.
Hello.
Hey, Simon, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. It's always an honor to have Simon Shack here, the absolute penultimate video composer of 9/11 exposés. You haven't been debunked. You've stood the test of time. I've stood the test of time defending you. No one has come close. And do you want to read your post over here on Clues Forum? It's a small one. Normally you write huge essays, but you shortened it up for this year.
Yeah, I was a bit lazy today. I just wrote. I just asked people to read my post from 2023, which kind of summarizes all the September Clues research. And well, I can read it. It's too small for me. Can you read it?
I'm gonna read it. No problem.
Yeah.
Happy 24th anniversary of the Grand 9/11 hoax, as exposed by yours truly already in 2007. Come to think of it, I don't think there's been any other major government psyop that has been roundly exposed in as little as 6 years. If you were wondering just how it was pulled off in bright daylight, like today here in the east coast of Canada and the US, please read the short summary I put together back in 2023. 22 years on, and there's a link to that. And you say, enjoy your day, and if you feel like it, watch or rewatch my old documentary, September Clues, now available in 14 languages.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Japanese version came out the other day.
Yes, I got somebody uploaded. Wild Times uploaded it to FAK1127.
Some guy in Japan translated September Clues finally in Japanese. And so we have 14 different subtitled versions of September Clues.
Wonderful, wonderful. And let me also just say hi to another esteemed guest who is now joining us in the studio. It's CSL. He's in America somewhere. CSL, can you hear us?
Loud and clear. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
CSL has the deepest, loudest, most solid mic in the whole panel. He just blows everyone away.
I only have a very
I can turn it down.
That's okay. Simon's a sound engineer, so he hears it immediately, I think.
Yeah, we're listening on my big speakers here with 3 Swedish friends.
Oh, nice.
With 3 Swedish friends who have come to visit me. And we are having a really good time. And they are all, they are all knowledgeable about 9/11 and my Tychos model.
Tychos.info, Simon's expose on the solar system. As he sees it.
But let's stay on 9/11. It's 9/11 today, so
yeah, it's a happy day. It's a great day, and we also have Frank. We have a big panel tonight, so we're gonna go a couple hours. Let everyone have a few words. Frank the Salt Guy is calling in from Geelong, Australia. Hello, Frank. Okay, unmute your mic, probably. And CSL, have you ever spoken to Simon Shack before?
Sorry, happy birthday is what I tried to say.
Oh, happy birthday! Thank you. Well, whose birthday is it?
Isn't it September 11th is your birthday, isn't it?
Oh, right. I did put that in a couple of forms in the past, yes. But no, it's not my real birthday. But yeah, that's funny.
Right.
Yeah.
And congratulations to you, Simon, for all your work over the years. It's a 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
Thank you. Who am I talking to?
My name's Frank. I'm
you're Frank.
The regular guys.
Oh, you're Frank from where? From Australia?
My shtick is that I think people should have more salt.
Oh, yes.
That's why we call him Frank the Salt Guy, mainly.
Yeah, the Salt Guy. Yes.
And he also has a website you might be one of your favorite bookmarks. It's howtotakecareofyourpenis.com. That's a real website.
Okay.
Like Italian guys don't already know how to, right? Come on.
An ounce of salt.
And jag kan icke tala svenska.
Du kan tala svenska?
Icke tala svenska.
Icke tala svenska. Icke. That was half Norwegian.
Yeah, sorry. My mother's a Norwegian. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My father was Norwegian and my mother was Swedish. Just to make it clear.
And let CSL come back in quickly. CSL, have you talked to Simon or Frank before? Because you can introduce yourself or say hi.
Hey, so no, I've not ever talked to Simon, but I am familiar with Simon's work. His, I think it's 2007, the September Clues documentary is a part of my own awakening. And Frank and I have talked off and on through the Discord here and there. It's been been a minute. I don't know if he remembers me, but I do consume extra salt, but not exactly an ounce a day.
Good.
I think half an ounce a day is the premium, apparently, according to the literature.
Half an ounce.
Okay,
it's
why don't we?
A nutrient that we should not, we should not restrict, unlike what we're told.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, let's go back to Tim Osmond because I want to catch up on Tim Osmond's take on Charlie Kirk. That happened yesterday on 9/10, and I'm wondering what his stand is on it. What's he think of it? So I know he's a great researcher. So, Tim Osmond, anything you want to break down for the crowd here? We are most receptive.
Yeah. I think first of all, I think we have to, everyone who's been through Simon Shack's work, you know that there's like this paradigm shift where you no longer assume everything to be real just because it's on TV. You have to consider media fakery. And a lot of people make this mistake of assuming it's real and then trying to figure out, did Israel do it? Did this other party do it? But we're looking at this thing analytically. And so we're looking at every single potential angle, squibs, CGI, augmented reality. And a lot of the things that people are noticing are later being debunked. But I think that's fine. Like the ring that seems to jump from one finger to the other. But it shows that people are doubtful about it, skeptical. And so we're still parsing through it. But in my opinion, based on the context of it and his significance and the fact he's been promoted recently on South Park and a number of other, I think, surrounding circumstances, my presumption is it's likely staged. And so I've been looking at it through that lens, and I have reasons to doubt that it was real. And it's like a magic show. Just because you cannot deconstruct the trick from your seat doesn't mean it's magic. So I'm still at the point of looking at all the best information before arriving at any certainty. But thus far, it seems like a perfectly scripted psychological operation attached to the one that happened the day before and leading to the next whatever iteration of the Psywar that we're going to enter into. And then one final point, I've noted for some time that Turning Point USA was platforming the white Christian nationalist narratives that would play into what I said would be the Turner Diaries played out on the world stage, the whole race war narrative. And because in Turner Diaries, there's this thing called Turning Point. And the turning point is when the protagonist crashes his plane into the Pentagon with nukes on it and kicks off a revolution of white nationalists. So I'm just saying that it's highly significant that the leader of Turning Point gets taken out. And then the day after, as in today, you have our first White Lives Matter protests. So to me, this is so scripted that I'm in no way in the camp of, oh, it's probably real. No, not even close.
And to add to that, of course, is the as Shane points out, is that this Kirk is obviously a Scottish 33 right. It's the Scottish word for church.
Okay.
And the Norwegian and Swedish word.
Yes. May I just interject here and share with you my own view of what this Charlie Kirk thing is all about?
Please. Just speak up. No need to ask. Just go.
Yeah, quite interested. Please.
I mean, what better thing would it be to have a new psyop happening just on the day before the 24th anniversary of 9/11 to make all of us talk about that instead of remembering 9/11
exactly
and the hoax that it was. That's as simple a thought as I can share with you. I think it's made on purpose to make us, as we do now, talk about Charlie Kirk, and maybe all these podcasts will be
ignored.
Ignored because we have to talk about 9/11. I think we won't have to. They want us to forget about the grand hoax of 9/11. And so they do the day before they do these things, and of course it's fake.
Are you a conspiracy theorist, though?
Yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Yes.
I'm looking on X right now. The number one trending post is Charlie Kirk, of course, 2.97 million posts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see, does 9/11 even make it into the trending? And I think the answer is no. 9/11 doesn't make it.
So Ab, and so I'm going to ask you formally right now can we stop talking about Charlie Kirk and go on to the 9/11 Remembrance Day? This is the Remembrance Day of the biggest hoax that mankind has ever
experienced in the media.
Experienced, yeah.
Well, I'm with you on that. I think you're right about this, because there's not enough info to really be, I think, too in depth about Charlie Kirk. But 9/11 we've had a long time, so I'm with you on that. But I want to point out the timing of it has turned this day into an authentic day of mourning for the right wing, from Trump on down, where because it's a more recent event and they've attached it. But definitely,
sure,
with you on that.
Sure. But really, I really think that at least fakologists and company, should understand that this is kind of a trick to make us talk about this stupid last psyop, and just not diffuse the more important news that many people have never heard of, like the 9/11
event.
How it was pulled off, and that's the only thing I want to talk about tonight. I'm going to, of course, I will have to repeat stuff I've said before, and so please excuse me, but I just think that 9/11 was a very, very simple David Copperfield hoax. They just raised some smoke. They raised some smoke in Lower Manhattan. Behind the smoke, everything happened, and no one saw anything, and no one could film anything of value. And instead, on TV, we saw a prefabricated movie.
Was any of it real in your mind? And I know your answer, but I just want to repeat all this for the 2025 audience. By the way, Simon and myself and a couple others, we did a long breakdown of September Clues last year. It's all on FAKotube. It is my best one-on-one work with Simon and September Clues. We broke that baby down all the way down to the little bits and pieces, did we not?
Yeah, I think we did. And I think that everyone who really wants to know about 9/11 can only go to Fakologist or to Clues Forum. These are the two places. Yeah.
And we're still here. We're still doing it.
It's pretty weird. It's a bit strange that we are only two places who have sussed out everything. And
I for one think it's definitely worth repeating, just even for the potential new folks in the audience today.
Yes. I mean, I'm always looking whenever I'm invited to a show. My first thought is to tell it to other people that have never heard about it. We have to keep thinking this way, because that's how things get diffused.
Simon, if we understand September Clues and 9/11, everything that follows is easy. The Charlie Kirk thing is pretty easy to break down with our September Clues knowledge. That's the whole point.
Of
bringing it up.
Yeah, sure.
Because we know that the 9/11 event fooled the entire world, and it's 24 years later, and there's only a small percentage that talk about it in the way we do.
Yes.
We don't talk about Building 7. We don't talk about all the things that we're fed to believe is the problem with 9/11. We talk about the grand picture, and nobody else does that. And that's the point. No, people are busy with the different aspects of the Charlie Kirk psyop, the ring, all kinds of things. They're not talking about how that was possibly a hybrid event, like the Trump fake shooting, where they and like January 6th, where they merge pre-recording with a real event. So that's maybe I can ask you, if you had to guess, how do they do it? How could you pull off an event like that without people talking in the way that if they were actually there? Just like, how could they pull off the 9/11 event at the World Trade Center specifically if there are so many people on that little island that would have seen something or said something? So isn't it a good explanation to just take the 9/11 September clues, World Trade Center, Manhattan template and put it on top of all these events and see it through that template?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about magic tricks, pulling off magic tricks in bright daylight, as it did on 9/11. All they needed was to use the oldest trick in the military book to raise a smoke screen around the lower Manhattan, and so no one would be able to film anything of any value. By the way, there were no cell phones with the video capacity in 2001.
Right.
I just checked on some AI told me that the first cell phones with decent video capacity, came out in 2009. 2009. So,
the iPhone came out in 2007. That's the first really easy to use.
Yeah.
Camera,
but anyway, in 2001, there was no video capacity.
Right.
On cell phones. So we have to believe that all these different amateur videos were made with anyone who had a Sony Handycam video, who happened to be there in that morning, and so on and so forth. So it's really stretching our belief to think that's.
I think the other reason it's important to talk about it is because there are going to be Zapruder films coming out.
Oh, they keep publishing a new video every year. Every year there's a guy who says, "Oh yeah, I had this video in my drawer for all these years, and now I'm publishing it on YouTube." I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? How they are going about the gradual release of amateur videos. You see?
Hey, Tim Osmond wanted to say something. We got a big panel tonight, so I want to let everyone in. Tim Osmond, go ahead. Oh, Tim Osmond? No. Okay, he's having technical trouble, so he's got a flaky thing on his end. Did you want to chime in at all, CSL, on maybe the similarities between 9/11 and say, I know you don't want to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing, Simon, but everyone here wants to say something about it.
Well, Simon was making a point, though, about how there was no cell phone video, or at least as ubiquitous as it is today. But in fact, that's all, as far as I'm aware, that is all we're being presented with the Charlie Kirk situation today. Thus far, is only presumably personal cell phone video from bystanders standing in the audience. Whereas, the 9/11 event was, mainstream media official broadcast, a simulcast, if you will, across multiple stations across the entire planet of the same video stream. Whereas this is sort of independent angles from supposedly, presumably individual people with their own personal cell phones. And that's the way it's being presented to us.
Yep. Let me add one thing too. Eyewitness 9/11. If 9/11 happened during the 88 or more drills that were happening, you can presume it to be a closed movie set. They used the drills to make space for the fake operation behind the smog. They used the drills to control access and to make sure that the only people recorded were their plants. So it wasn't like it was an open set. I think the fact that there were dozens and dozens of terror drilling on that day makes it clear it was a closed movie set.
Yes, no access. And the people of Manhattan, the only way they could really see anything is to go watch it on their TV. For the best upfront view. If they wanted to get the info, if they want to get the zoom ins, they had to go home, even if they were in the building next door, and watch it on their TV through that lens.
And since Lower Manhattan was closed off, as we have verified, there was no access there. There was no one able to film it at close range. But I mean, how do you film anything at close range in all these skyscrapers in Manhattan? Right. So only the people from across the river, the Hudson, would have filmed something of any value. But they would have filmed lots of smoke surrounding the towers. Maybe a bit too early. But what if? I mean, imagine yourself, Ab.
Yeah.
If you had been on the other side of the river and you had filmed some smoke enveloping the towers, a bit too early with respect to what we were shown on TV.
Yes.
Where would you have gone to show that you had
Yeah, exposed there was no YouTube, there was no X. I'd have to. Who would I call?
Who would you call? You would call. Who am I going to call? Ghostbusters. I mean, am I going to go to the police, to CNN, and say, "Oh, look, I filmed at 9:03 when there was supposed to be no smoke around the towers, but I filmed the towers enveloped in smoke."
And they would have said,
"How are you going to prove that?"
They would have said they would have said your watch was wrong.
Yes, or the timestamp on your camera.
Yeah,
there is no way you could have, proven what you had filmed.
Absolutely not.
You understand? I want to push this thing about the smoke screen because there was enormous amounts of smoke over Lower Manhattan for the whole day, and it lasted until dusk. If you pull down whatever building, the dust that is created by the collapse will subside in 15 or 20 minutes.
At the most. I watch these things all the time. Yeah, go ahead, Tim Osmond.
Well, I was 54 Bravo in the Army, which is decontamination. And one of the things that we operated in McClellan were the smog generators that you maintain impenetrable smog for hours that will be impenetrable to eyes, to lasers, so you can move personnel and not be targeted. And that to me wasn't smoke. That was military smog, and they can on and off with a switch. They could keep it on all damn day. So
that's why I'm pushing this. In the last few years, I've been repeating this on and on again. Can you not understand how easy it was to pull it off? They just raised a smoke screen, and behind the smoke, they pulled down the towers with dynamite, with conventional demolition charges. There was no bloody directed energy weapons or anything like that. No, not necessary. They pulled down the towers behind the smoke, but then you will say, "Oh no, but I've seen videos of the towers actually collapsing top down. They are made in a Hollywood studio. Do you understand, Americans?
You watched it on a TV.
Do you Americans or Canadians understand that they can do that? Because they've done it in many movies before.
Armageddon.
Empire State Building collapses top down in Independence Day, 1996. That's 5 years before 2001. They had the technology to make a movie that looked realistic of a skyscraper exploding on the top and falling down from the top down. That's not physically possible.
No.
Quite simply. But they showed many. But when they released lots of amateur videos in 2010, like nine years later, they finally had these videos showing the towers very clearly collapsing top down with the blue sky. Finally, because all the videos we have from the original videos on from the TV stations, they have different colors of sky. They are yellow, brown, purple. For some reason, all of the videos of the day from the original broadcast on the 5 big American channels have different sky colors. Why,
Simon, can I divert you just for a second?
Why have no one noticed that?
Can I divert you for a second on that exact question?
Yeah.
What is the psychology that is preventing people from listening to these obvious truths that you're spouting? I shouldn't say spouting. These obvious truths that you have explained. Why do you think it is such a difficult sell?
I could have asked the same question to you, because I don't know what is the psychology that keeps people from understanding.
Well, the problem, I don't think you're going to like my. I don't think you're going to like my answer. My answer is that I think it's a supernatural thing.
It's a supernatural thing. You know, people only need to spend 90 minutes. Sorry, to watch a September Cruise. I think that should suffice. But no, apparently not. Most people, I mean, September Cruise, you know that September Cruise is now in 14 languages.
I do,
before
I'm just going to repeat what I said before. I have absolutely no problem with what you're saying. And to me, if anyone sees the stuff you produced, it should be very clear cut.
Yeah.
But it is literally like extracting teeth.
Yeah. But may I repeat this for most people who maybe will be tuning in right now? My September Cruise movie is now available in 14 languages. 14, because I've had 14 independent people from 14 countries who, for free, translated the movie. But until 2018, they were all, at least 12 of them were published on YouTube and had enormous amounts of views. Like the Korean one, the Korean version had 1.3 million. The Turkish has 780,000 views. The French had 400,000. The Italian had 570,000. On my own channel, where was almost reaching 1 million, was like 900,000. But suddenly, in 2008, YouTube decides to close it with the motivation that it violates their hate speech.
Wow.
Their hate speech. How do they say exactly? They say that, go and look at our hate speech regulations.
Like the terms of service, is that what you're saying? Like the terms of service.
Hate speech terms of service. Suddenly, in 2018, September Cruise disappeared from YouTube, which is, of course, the only place where you can get high numbers. All right?
Yeah.
Let's not fool ourselves. It's not the same if you go to BitChute or Odyssey. You won't have the same numbers. So they decided to clamp down on September Cruise in 2018. I just want to make this clear. September Cruise was a highly watched movie for a while, between 2008 and 2018. For 10 years, they let it go. I was actually amazed. I was expecting YouTube to delete September Cruise, but it stayed on for 10 years. And I think many people have seen September Cruise. It's impossible to quantify, of course.
Well, we have 61,863 views on FAK1127. And by the way, I want to just tell people I made a donation to September Clues and Clues Forum tonight, just to thank Simon for all his good work. So
thank you.
everyone can go to the bottom of the screen of cluesforum.info, click the donate button. They want to help Simon out and thank him for his work. So I'll just show you, Simon. That should be coming into your PayPal.
That's very nice of you, Ab.
I don't pay for interviews, but I pay for all your hard work. So, and I know it costs money to keep the website up. So everyone can donate 9/11 in any way you want to put the decimal point there. So there you go, Simon.
Yeah, but you just have to go to septemberclues.org, and there you can find a donate button if you like. Because I really haven't had much donations at all over all these years.
Well, it's because it's fading away. That's why we got you on here to.
Yeah.
You still have the best work of anyone on 9/11, and it's important, I think, to keep.
I originally watched it on YouTube. That's where I saw it.
You saw it on YouTube? Okay, good.
I really think I started something with September Clues, you know?
CSL, have you seen all these addendums? Look at all these addendums I have on the Fakeologist, FAK1127 website. These are all extra pieces that could be folded into another video. Have you seen that? Have you seen all these?
No.
I'm so grateful.
Maybe some of them. Yeah.
I'm so grateful for FAK1127 because they've been deleted everywhere else. Even Vimeo now, only a couple of weeks ago, Vimeo said, "Oh, we have closed down all your videos. They were against our rules." So they keep.
Vimeo just got bought out today. A private equity just bought Vimeo, so Vimeo is now gonna be under more demon control. But FAK1127 is independent. FAK1127 is supported by people like Billy. Billy made a donation to FAK1127. I really appreciate that. And this is where we house the.
I want to do a donation to FAK1127. Really,
it's okay. This show.
Simon, do we need to start a GoFundMe to get you to produce a new version with everything?
All right. So many people have asked me to do a new version,
and all I've heard from you, I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, is that you're not that keen to do another version.
Well, I'm saying this because I'm so much invested now in my solar system model, the Tychus, which we're not going to talk about now. But given maybe some funding, I could do that.
If we did a GoFundMe, it would maybe wake up your creative juices and maybe give a couple hours.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still alive, you know. And
it could be like ABBA's, next world tour. You could make billions out of it.
Yeah. Well. And that reminds me, Supertramp, the guy just died allegedly. I think it's true. They never reunited. They never reconciled, the two titans at the top. And how much money did they leave on the table, Simon? Simon, you're a musician. I don't know if you like Supertramp or Rick Davies or Roger.
Oh yeah. I love Supertramp.
But they were one of my favorite bands of all time.
Easily one of my favorite bands of all time. Easily.
Excellent band. Very good band.
So if they left that kind of money on the table, maybe we can get Simon to get the.
in fairness.
By the way,
the money.
May I plug the new album which is coming out soon?
Yes.
It's called Impossibility.
Okay, where is that?
It's going to come out on our Bandcamp site.
Okay. And give us the main site. Do we go to September Clues and then we get links to it? You got to make it easy for people.
I'm going to announce it on Clues Forum.
Okay, but if people can't find it on Clues Forum, you
have to announce it here as well. Then
all right. So it's the social service 1 at bandcamp.com.
The social service 1.
The social service 1 at bandcamp.com.
All one word or separate words?
No.
I'll find it.
Yeah, I mean, we have now made 11 albums or 12. Yeah, there it is.
I'll put a link to it on today's program. This is FAK1127. Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of Clues Forum or September Clues was the soundtrack. I mean, it may have been your best work.
Yes.
Right. So most of the songs of the soundtrack of September Clues, you will find them in 2 of these albums you were showing now.
Which ones?
Which are Save the Swines and No Fool.
Oh, okay. So those you
Save the Swines, is that a biblical reference?
Save the Swines and No
Did
Fool
you make
contain the instrumentals that are used for the soundtrack of the movie.
So you made the
I'm
songs
intrigued
first,
about
right?
why you chose Save the Swines, Simon. Why Save the Swines? What's the
My idea was ironic, save the bloody swines who rule us, save them from their stupidity.
It's not about casting pearls before swine or anything.
Yeah. Pearls before swine or nothing.
I was thinking of, let's save those poor souls who are psychopaths.
Did you make the music before September Clues? Was that?
It was a magic moment because right around 2005 or 6 when we were recording these songs with a band. I was doing September Clues on my own, my band members didn't even know I was doing that. But then,
were you too scared to tell them? By the way,
sorry,
were you too scared to tell them in case they got cross? And because I had this problem with my business partner, I didn't want to tell him that I didn't believe in.
Oh, okay. No, but now my band members are all
They're all on board.
They're all on board.
Oh, that's
Where
amazing.
is the new album? Is it listed here or not yet? Where's the new album? What's it called?
It's our 2025 album. It's not ready yet.
Okay.
I still have to mix a couple of tracks, and it will be published maybe November. Yeah, well, maybe October, November. It will be ready.
Okay. Well, is there any, if anyone wants to call in and ask a question of Simon Shack, Tim Osmond, myself, Frank, or CSL, you can call in 810-666-1984 or 902-400-1984 if you have any questions at all about September Clues, 9/11. People still want to talk about Charlie Kirk, Simon, because it is a hot topic. And I did put it in the title. Yesterday, we had over 200 people on X tune in because of Charlie Kirk. And so it is a hot topic. There is media fakery involved. There is,
of course, I understand.
Yeah,
but my my take about this thing. It's something to overwhelm the average Joe.
Yes.
About fakery during the anniversary of 9/11.
Well, even Trump didn't go to New York. He just went to the Pentagon, where there was even less going on.
The timing is
he was supposed to go to a ball game or something.
Coincidental.
Hold time 8 seconds.
Okay, we got our first caller and a caller in. Where are you calling from, and what's your name?
Hey, Fakeologist. This is Jay from Texas. It's going to be real quick.
Okay, Jay from Texas. Hello. Say hi to the panel. You can say hi.
Hey, how you doing, Simon? How you doing, Tim?
Fine.
That's good. I would like with this anniversary, man, of 9/11. What I want to know is why, like, you got these people with these huge platforms, like
Alex
Jones. They don't talk about it. They don't talk. Yeah, but when they talk about it, they always talk about it in some weird, way to make it look silly and anything. But they never talk about like anything of the after effects or like what led up to it or like just the actual like event. They never talk about like how it changed the entire country with the Patriot Act and everything. They don't talk about it's they're okay with this buildup.
Homeland Security was the baby that was born from 9/11.
Yeah.
That is a massive enterprise, Simon. Homeland Security. Do you ever talk about that?
Oh, well, it's obvious that Homeland Security was built around 9/11, you know?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. It was like
Homeland Security Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a real entity with a real budget, and it brought together disparate agencies under one centralized control.
But
with
it does
a massive budget.
it does have an ironic name because it
Mhm.
just made things more insecure, didn't it?
I mean, if you've been traveling after 2001, you will have noticed that all the controls we have in the airports now, it's ridiculous. You know, we can't carry any liquids, anything, and
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, I read
one of the purposes.
Simon, do you want to know what their budget is for this year? Homeland Security?
No, tell me.
$108 billion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I
Oh,
read
dear.
when it was, yeah, like Fakeologist, I read when it was just being announced, and then 2002, 2003, their budget was like, because they were talking, it was like 20 billion, but
Oh shit.
the activists,
It went up
the activists
4.5 billion from last year.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Horrible.
They use most of that. They use most of that budget here in the U.S. because they got the budget for when they did,
They're spending $600 million to build a wall around the Rio Grande, which I think is to keep Americans in, not anyone else out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it includes border security, customs and border protection, immigration, border infrastructure, cybersecurity. It includes the Coast Guard. It includes FEMA. It includes law enforcement and workforce support, technology. So it is a monster. It is a unwieldy monster that was born out of 9/11 and the Patriot Act.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. That's my only question I wanted to get to. Like this thing is still going on to this day, and I think more people need to talk about how the security apparatus is being more and more matured over time to be in more and more surveillance on us. And
Yeah.
you can see these
Track
mini
and
9/11s that they're using these mini 9/11s to keep pushing it forward, and a lot of people seem to be okay with it now. Like, and they don't even remember how it was before 9/11, and they don't even remember all the minutiae that brought this thing in, and the people who were against it. You know, the people who were against all this surveillance, and that's what needs to be talked about. Is more about the effect of it and what happened. But thank you for taking my call, Fakeologist.
Thank you, Jay. Thanks for making it quick because we got a big.
Great thoughts.
Thanks, y'all have a good evening. You have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Looks like we got
Hold time,
another
5
caller in.
seconds.
Okay, who's calling and what's your name? Oh, they hung up. Tim Osmond, do you want to chime in? You've been quiet for a while. And then
You mentioned the person from Supertramp passing
Rick
away.
Rick Davies. Yeah.
Did you put the cover of Breakfast in America, which is a classic example of 9/11?
Yeah, that's fully relevant. Yeah, Rick Davies dies, I believe, on 9/6. And yes, Breakfast in America is their best-selling album ever. And you're absolutely correct on that.
Yeah, you take the cover and you flip it horizontal, and she's holding 9/11 on the breakfast tray. She's serving 9/11.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's from
But the Twin Towers are also on the cover, aren't they?
Yes.
From the airplane, from an airplane view, from a view from a window of an airplane. We see the towers behind, and Supertramp. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ab.
There you go.
You see the UP makes a 9/11 on the Twin Towers that she's holding on her tray.
If you reverse it, it's exactly
9/11. Yeah. So
Starting
you're
to look
saying
way too logical.
It's very logical. So you're saying that was created by the powers that should not be, so they integrated into the psyche. Tim Osmond, you're very good at
You guys do realize that you're going to be viewed as conspiracy theorists. You know that.
Oh, we're good with that. We're good. Oh, hold on, we got another caller in her. This is the same caller in. Maybe it'll
Hold
come
time, 6 seconds.
Caller inner, where are you calling from, and what's your name? Go ahead, caller inner.
Yeah, from Scotland.
Sorry, who from Scotland?
CGI folk.
Okay.
Wow.
CGI folk from Scotland?
Yeah.
Okay. That's as much as I could. You have a question for anyone on the panel?
Yeah, I was just I just caught the end of this. So I haven't heard really what you guys were going over. But
okay.
Yeah, perhaps Simon, I've kind of got a whole bunch of footage that I've been looking over the years since I found your site, and I noticed I've been to New York a lot, working as a musician myself, and I was just looking for the things that weren't present. You know, the things that were missing, and a bunch of things that were missing for me in the footage on the street. The dogs. People smoke like fuck in New York, and they also swear like hell. You know.
So you weren't seeing any. You said some of the footage was missing some authenticity, like smoking and cussing and things you'd expect from the streets of New York, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, not there at all. And then also nobody coming out of any windows anywhere on any street. And that's just not normal behavior. People would be on their fire escapes trying to get a view of God knows what. And
so what do you think you were watching then? What's your take on what you were watching?
A created movie, you know.
All right, that's good. That's good.
And CGI, can I ask, when you talk about this to people in your life, what is their response?
Well, I don't really.
You don't talk about. Did you watch September?
So you don't do it, and the reason you don't do it is because you're concerned that people will think you're a conspiracy theorist.
No, not especially. Why? That's a strange question.
Well, I'm just wondering what it is. I mean, my interest is why, when, as I said before, I think Simon's work is very clear, and if anyone saw it, they would be, you know.
I think our caller went away, so he's gone. I think he had a bad connection all the way from Scotland.
It's like you were saying, Frank. Like the psychology of it is where you were coming
It's the
from.
psychology, 100%. You know, that's the method I want to unravel, is how these guys do this to me. That's all my personal interest is how are these guys?
Well, you know what?
When I say these things, why am I the one considered to be?
Well, Tim Osmond, that's what he specializes in. His podcast really digs into that, Tim.
Yeah, I think we have to look at this in terms of points of view. Like AI, you talk to AI, well, you know its point of view for every answer it gives you is going to be the mainstream media version. So you categorize people into mainstream interpretation, alternative left, alternative right, and then conspiracy theorists who call things fake are in a completely different frame of reference. And it just seems like if you're not aware of media fakery, your default position is to believe that it's real unless it's proven fake. And the paradigm shift that we have had is it's fake until proven real. And it's that basic, I think. It's psychoepistemology. It's their...
Okay, so do you have... Can you give me some tips on how to deal with this?
That's pretty difficult, because I think what we're looking at is people are in a worldview and they don't see it. Like it's like they are like Truman in the Truman Show, until you can see that it's just a model or a version that's heavily curated. But we're in a media bubble and it's inescapable. And one of the things I talk about is how a lot of the movies mirror the fake stuff on TV, and that's part of it. So as far as...
Well, they establish it, don't they? The movies now establish the situation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is with 9/11.
I'm just repeating what I've learned from your broadcast. By the way,
they establish it in advance and concurrently, because if you look at 9/11, the day it came out, there were so many movies that led up to it that had to be changed because of it. So this has been a reoccurring pattern. It's movies and drills always attend these fake events. And that's why 9/11
and
is
they
so
go hand in glove.
Yes, and they're timed perfectly, which tells you it's coordinated, and that's a powerful echo chamber. I don't know how each people.
Recent example, by the way, in Australia, and it's just happened, right? It's literally hot off the press. Was that the government broadcaster put out an article or a TV show about how dangerous sovereign citizens are, and then the next day or the day after, there was an actual gunfight between a sovereign citizen and one of these and the police. A policeman got shot and died, and blah 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 blah. Like, it's full on.
Well, as everyone knows, 9/11 is one of the most famous examples of an event that was predicted in many ways. And you had like the Lone Gunman, the X-Files spinoff, where it had like quite literally the plane about to hit the building. But there are thousands of examples. And this is such a consistent pattern that's why I don't think you can break the spell. That they're getting people to have preconceived notions, so they're susceptible through suggestion to whatever is going to be faked. And they run the interpretations that are spoon-fed. Like, I think they have this thing on lockdown. And what traps people more than anything is the way they process media is as believers, as in a church, rather than critical thinkers. So there's too much faith involved in how people trust their sources. And to me, that's the error. It's all philosophical.
I'm going to put an appeal out to listeners. If anyone has a model about how to overcome this problem that I'm having, please let me know.
All right.
If there's someone got a cure for cancer, that's bullshit, because cancer is bullshit. But if you've got a cure for this, that would be a real contribution to the world.
I call it mind aids, because you don't have the mental immune system to filter out mind viruses fed to you through propaganda unless you're using critical thinking. And the government gives everyone mind aids when they're in school. It conditions them to process media passively instead of actively. So, yeah, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but I think it's primarily a philosophical issue.
I'm watching. I've just recently been gifted with some grandchildren, and they are being dinosaured to oblivion.
In other words, they're being taught dinosaurs. Hey, I'm just playing a video of Trump. Apparently, people are saying that his shirt and his hands glitch out. So people are
no way.
Well, this is on the Drudge. This is on the Drudge Report, which is the mainstream headliner. So they are showing. Why do they show this on a mainstream site? I wonder. I haven't seen it glitch out, but I'm just telling you that they're trying to take the arguments.
Well, sorry. One of the things you need to do, Tim, is play that. What's that? I wish I was a rock star singer with flowers in my hair. Revolutions in the air. You know that France they're having revolutions everywhere at the moment. The French government has just had to resign.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of protests going on. There's protests even in laissez-faire Australia.
Mm-hmm.
There are governments falling left, right, and centre. It is all about the zeitgeist at the moment is about that.
Simon, are we witnessing deep fakes in some of these Trump things? We know we saw some with the Biden thing. Is anything like this happening in Italy? What do you think?
Well, all I have to say about these videos which show strange hands, for instance, is that that's many years ago. There was the Breivik affair in Norway,
right? The Breivik affair,
there was a video of the court case where Breivik walks into the courtroom, and we see policemen with chocolate hands, as I call them. Their hands were brown. And so we thought that was strange, but we couldn't explain it. And what you know, many years later, like a couple of months ago, I go to I find a site where they are experts on how AI works on videos, and it says we still have problems with the hands. They can get brown. They can become chocolate colored. Yeah, so we had discovered something without, we didn't know what it was, but in 2011 was it or something? We saw that. So AI has been existing much longer than we know, and it has been used for these psyops, these government.
Anders Breivik, wasn't his head disappearing in the courtroom?
Yes, we have that on Close Sport. That was my discovery. Yes, I stopped the video on a certain point, and his head was half cut off. It was cut off.
We saw this in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, where some security guards' feet were disappearing in the floor. So, yeah, this is not a new thing. They use the most advanced digital tech all the time, and right now it's generative AI.
Yeah, we really need to understand that there is extremely big investment by the powers that be on faking images because they work the best. People see some images and they think they are real. If they see them on TV, they must be real, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm repeating an old thing, but we need to repeat it all the time because people.
Well, they've got an unlimited budget.
People still believe stuff they see on TV and from official sources.
Well, now it's on X and Instagram and Facebook. The TV is dead to the younger generation. I think anyone under 30, 40 is not watching TV. Their audience.
But do you think? I mean, just because someone says that, do you think that's true? That's not my experience with my children.
Well, none of mine have TVs. None of them. We don't have cable in this house, and I know they get all their news from actually TikTok. TikTok has replaced in the last couple of years all information, and I don't know what stuff.
And that's of course because because Elon Musk is the champion of the underprivileged, isn't it?
Well, he doesn't have anything to do with TikTok, but anyway, the
champion. What? The champion of the underprivileged? That's funny.
Well, you don't believe that, Simon?
Frank is serving up a lot of sarcasm tonight.
No,
it's an Australian thing, but I just posted a link. I posted a link to Simon's Oslo and Utoya thread.
Right.
206 pages. It's a huge thread.
It's the biggest thread we have historically. It's the biggest thread we have on Close Forum.
Now, has Norway or Sweden been doing their part in psyops, or have they just stopped? What is happening over there? You got your Swedish friends there.
I have my Swedish friends here, and are there any big psyops happening in Sweden right now?
Is the word psyop and fakery even in their everyday speech these days?
Well, there have been some stuff in Stockholm, for instance.
Right.
The Drottninggatan, where apparently, one of these Muslim terrorists drove a van into a shop. And it is full of completely crazy absurdities. And so
But what about all the rape stuff, Simon? I mean, Sweden is apparently having an epidemic of rapes from Muslims.
What do you say about that?
Epidemic of what?
Rapes.
Muslim
men are raping Christian Swedish women.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that I'm assuming that is a fake story, 100%.
I don't know. I don't live in Sweden now. You see, but I think it's exaggerated, of course. Yeah.
What do you think? I think it's standard agitprop that targets the right-wing nationalists. They do this every election cycle. Here, we hear about we only hear about the Mexican border, the southern border, and Mexican gangs whenever there's an election. But then nobody cares for 4 years. Then it happens again. And then they'll switch. They'll say, oh, we got to worry about this group from this country. But it's always the same.
Yeah. Yes, but yes, I mean, who? I mean, is it difficult? Is it difficult to understand who is behind the wish of demonizing the Arabs? Who? Okay, there are many Arabs invading European countries, but who is behind the fact to demonize them?
Exactly.
I think it's clear. It's
You know,
clear.
these are just people
Hold
that
time,
have
12
the opportunity
seconds.
to make their lives better. They take it, and then they're turned into, you know, the opportunities are created by the controllers.
Yes.
And any, you know, if I was living in some of these crazy countries, for example, Pakistan, where there's 200 million people and 30 plus million people just in one city, and there doesn't appear to be any future, and you've offered the opportunity to come and live in Australia or Sweden, I mean, why wouldn't you do it? It would be crazy not to do it.
Hey, we've got a caller in her. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
I'm calling from the South Shore of the St. Lawrence Seaway. I'm John the Beggar.
John the Beggar. Hello, you got
Hi,
your
John.
own caption here. Say hi to Simon, Shaq, Tim Osmond, and CSL.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Doing great, John.
I think he was right that this entire nonsense of massive rapes going on and stuff, I think that's just a psyop to enrage the right wing. I'm sure there are such things, certain ones, that there'll be a certain number of migrants or whatever that'll do things. But by and large, I think they're all just made up, trying to scare people. They're just doing constant scare work on you.
Yep.
Thank you, John. I think so.
And hopefully they are trying to get race wars going.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell these people, most of the people are getting old, especially where I live, and none of us are interested in fighting each other. And the young people seem to be getting along just fine.
Yeah, they've been mixed. They've been mixed together for a long time. So
yeah.
I don't think you're going to see anything, and they're pushing for this race war, and nobody wants it.
Exactly.
You know, nobody. A lot of people have moved out of Detroit and into the first and second ring of suburbs, and many of them have moved next to neighbors who have been nice to them and everything else. And they're like, "What do I want to attack my neighbor for?"
Yeah.
You know, we had a problem here where a lot of people were moving in, buying a house at one time, and they were like, they didn't shovel their snow or cut their lawn, and the city would come by and say, "This is a problem. You know, you have to do this." "Oh, that's the landlord." And they said, "Are you Mr. Johnson?" "Yeah, I'm Mr. Johnson." He said, "You know, you're the landlord." Some of these people were first-time home buyers ever in their lives. And sometimes the old elderly white couple next door would, you know, "No, you got to do this and this. You can borrow my lawnmower. You know, you've got to put the trash out on certain days." And as what I've heard is many of them became rather friendly with one another, especially the old homeowner who was next door to them, who knew how to fix things, would show them how to fix things. And they were like, you know, rather protective of their elderly white neighbors. They didn't want anything happening to them, and they didn't want them moving away because they were good neighbors next door.
Yeah.
Well, on Planet X, it's completely just being torn apart. I think they're pushing a lot of this divisive stuff, but they've ramped up the rhetoric where the type of racial slurs that were commonplace maybe on 4chan have been essentially mainstreamed. And actually, it's being allowed to happen because of top promoter. And I think that's part of what X is for. X is like, it's like almost like an experiment where they're saying, let's let the floodgates go, but let's exaggerate and make free speech appear to be dangerous. So now whenever somebody does something, oh, they were radicalized on X, like they used to do with Discord and what they've done with previous sites. They did that actually after Christchurch to censor 4chan. So I'm just saying that in real life, I don't see any of this stuff, but I go on X.
I agree with you.
And it's just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So the cure is really for people to just come off this stuff, isn't it? Well, stop watching TV. Just sit in their own world and work out what's going on in their own world.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, John the Beggar. Yeah, go ahead.
You're getting caught up in the spectacle. There was an early pope, I can't remember, I think in the 100s, and he warned people not to get caught in the spectacle of Rome. Don't get caught up with there's going to be a war, there's this going on or that. Just stick to your life and stick to your beliefs. And that's what people really need to do today. Step away. I, over a decade ago, more than that, quit watching TV. And it was the best thing I ever did.
And I can only endorse that. Since I started, and in my case, I started praying and focusing on what I physically see in the world that's about me, it has revolutionized my life.
You say you stopped watching TV, because when we say TV, a lot of people are like, I don't watch TV. Well, we're talking about the mode that people traditionally watch TV, which is passively sitting down, taking in the information. It's one way from Big Brother to your brain. And that's not how everyone takes in information anymore, because now you can kind of bounce back. There's more dialogue. You can be a little more proactive about it. So, we're not stuck with that, but then still the sources of information keep people dumbed down. So even if they're selecting what they want to see and they have more options, it's just more variations of brainwashing to choose from. And it's because they've so tightly curated every conversation. Like, you can have conspiracy theories all day, but media fakery, like what Simon Shack, September Clues, this stuff isn't like InfoWars friendly. You notice it's an entirely different genre.
But my view is, I've formed the view that if it's on television, then it's there to deceive me.
That's a good view. Good default.
Yeah,
Auto hoax.
It pretty much is. They've been brainwashing me since I was a little kid. Of course, there was some nice things when I was a kid. You had Mr. Ed on TV and Lassie and some things that really
Hang on, you're forgetting the most important one.
What's
and
that?
That's Barbara Eden playing the role of I Dream of Jeannie, because that's all I dreamed of.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to be Wilbur Post and have a...
being controlled by my organ was the most important aspect of my upbringing, I think.
Yeah. What is that? E. Michael Jones, the Catholic apologist, says that pornography and things like that are just a system of slavery and controlling you.
100%. The amount of time I wasted thinking about Barbara Eden is just crazy.
All right, we're getting off topic here. We got a guest here. We got CSL. We got Simon Shack, and John the Beggar.
Just for the audience to interpret, I've been reprimanded.
Yes, John the Beggar. Do you have any questions for Simon Shack and Clues for him? Because we're going to wrap up the show, I think, in a minute.
Okay, 9/11 is becoming some sort of a national holiday, or a day of mourning, and now a day of inspection. Because it's like Pearl Harbor.
That's a brilliant observation, John.
It was a sacred day.
Yeah.
It was a sacred day for my parents. My mother thought it was a holy day.
Well, you have a valid point here, because when 9/11 happened, it was.
Simon, you're buzzing a bit. Simon, that's your end is buzzing.
9/11.
Your cell phone. Turn it off if you can.
Oh dear.
9/11 was described as that generation's Pearl Harbor. And if you remember, it was preceded by a movie, Pearl Harbor. They framed it that way for the narrative, for the storytelling. And the movie had the planes attacking, and it was just very dramatically, I think, preparing us to emotionally react to 9/11 in a certain way. And so, it is an active holiday. And I would say it probably has the same entities directing it that directed Pearl Harbor.
Definitely. And I mean, today it seems to be getting a little more acceptable to attack the Holy War, World War II. You can say things. You can say like Hitler and Mussolini were related, and they were all related to the King of England and FDR, and you're not immediately just shut down. I wanted to be Wilbur Post and have a... It is just a difference. I mean, World War I is now extremely criticized, and I predict in 20 years people will be laughing at World War II. the crazy that went on. You know, people going off and saying, "Oh, they're sacrificing for freedom." Bullshit. They just got sacrificed to
Moloch,
the god of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, John. Thanks for your call tonight.
Okay, guys, and with that, I'll give you all a good night.
Thank you. On the South Shore of the St. Lawrence Seaway, down the
good night,
down the waterway.
I just want to emphasize that John put forward a very important model for us today. That 9/11 has become a national holiday in the USA, probably the world.
Well, maybe, but it's getting no attention today on X, like we said, because it's been completely overshadowed. Today is a write-off for 9/11, if you ask me. Not much of a 9/11 day. It's not even making the trending here. If we go look at Google Trends, we can see what's trending on Google. Let's see if 9/11 even...
I mean, it was 24 years ago. So imagine what kind of, the generation of today of young people.
But Guy Fawkes was
when
was Guy Fawkes?
About it.
Guy Fawkes was 500 years ago.
I think this means that another 9/11 is on the horizon, because that's like a generational psyop that shapes the worldview for decades. So I think we're being led up to the next 9/11, and I happen to think it's going to be a white.
Well, I think we've already had at least one.
All right, let's hear your take. What kind of 9/11 will come up?
I think the next one, and this is just based on my read of history, of psyop enhanced history of the zeitgeist. I think it's going to be another 9/11, but it's going to come from domestic violent extremists, as in like another Timothy McVeigh like thing. But so that's my thinking.
Another Oklahoma. We need an Oklahoma.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, they've done all sorts of similar psyops. It won't be anything new. We haven't even covered, all these psyops they've done in all these years. Do you remember? Would you remember the London psyop of 7/7, 2005?
I remember it.
Okay. Yeah. That one in particular, if you look at the London bombing, you'll find that there was a drill that was concurrent in the same tunnels where the bombs happened at the same time. And the BBC had a documentary about what are subways that get bombed. That was on at that time. So you had drills on TV.
Okay, so will you allow me to tell you the best finding I made at the time?
If we suppressed you, Simon, we would be accused of all sorts of things. So we couldn't suppress you.
Okay, so what I found around those days, or sometime after the event, I found that the Australian Prime Minister, John Howard, had been saying...
May his name be perpetually revered.
He said the exact day after the event of 7/7 in London, he said, a terrorist attack has been perpetrated in London and 52 people have died, among them 7 Australians. And that statement, I found it on 3 big newspapers in Europe, in Germany, in Italy, and
now, just for your information, I live in Australia, but I never heard that statement.
Oh, that statement is I documented it. It's absolutely documented.
So it sounds like that statement was for international consumption, but not national consumption.
Okay, but let me finish, because otherwise people won't understand. So there was no way he could know it was 52 victims, because they only counted them 4 days later. Scotland Yard said the second day it was 23, the third day was 41, and the third day was 45, and then the fourth day was 52. So he had some kind of foreknowledge,
supernatural.
But you know that in New Zealand newspapers published that John F. Kennedy had died several hours before he got shot.
Yes, and also some Australian fuck up was done with the moon landings. I remember because it said something that couldn't have happened. Because of the time of the time, like
the Five Eyes must be really cross with their Australian operations. They're going to send out someone important soon.
So actually, this guy, one of your forum members, sent a letter to John Howard. It says here.
Yes.
And he said, "I'm sorry, I cannot precisely source that advice."
What does it mean? I cannot precisely source. I mean, what more politically bullshit can you write? I mean,
sorry, I have to point out that in the
advice, what
in
does
the
it
chat
mean?
that we're receiving, Cassandra, who I'm assuming is a woman, but it could be wrong, who says she's Australian, she said she did hear that statement from John Howard. So I am not obviously the source. I don't remember it, Cassandra, but
you were out of the country at the time, maybe.
Maybe I was in Japan.
It is a documented statement on three big.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to say to you that I don't believe it, but I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
That I would have heard. I think what happened is it was an international consumption thing. What I'm suggesting to you is that it wasn't played up here in Australia, and I think that's interesting.
Okay, but at the end, it wasn't even 7 Australians because he said 52 dead, among them 7 Australians. In the end, there was 1 Australian officially that was killed on 7/7 in London,
and that's only because no one wants to admit they're Australian. I think some.
No.
All right, I put a link to that in the Fakeologist blog, so you can check that out. All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Simon, it's very late where you are.
I'm really sad, Tim, because this has been a lot of fun.
It has been fun, but all good things must come to an end. Simon, it's in the middle of the morning now for him, so we have to respect his time.
3:30 a.m.
He's not the young guy he was when he created September Clues. We're all getting older.
I'm still kicking
heart.
Yeah.
He was too young to fall in love.
Yeah. So let's give everyone here a closing statement before we wrap it up. Tim Osmond, thanks for joining. You're from IPS Monster and autohoax.com. You've got a regular podcast. We have Tim Osmond as much as we can, and he does really good work. I've posted much of Tim Osmond's material on FakeoTube. So Tim Osmond, go for it.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank you for having me on. This is a very important date, and I'm glad we were able to keep the focus mostly on 9/11 because the way that it has been broken down in September Clues represents a paradigm shift for how we look at all media. It's not an event in isolation, but it's a template from which we can kind of extract ways to approach all fake events and recognize they're all part of a continuous, fake, never-ending manufactured history that we're living through. So thanks for having me on, and I'll likely be live later. If anyone wants to join, just go to ips.monster. We'll talk about more recent events in the context of everything else. So thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim Osmond. Thanks. It has been great to hear your voice. I didn't know you very well.
Yeah, likewise. I appreciate your work. Thank you for having this conversation with us.
Yes, and we've been rebroadcasting on all of Tim Osmond's YouTube channels as well, and he's got a very large audience. So if anyone there has never heard of September Clues, now they have. This is how we try and get the word out. We cross-pollinate, and I think it really works. And Tim has a great audience, very loyal audience.
We cross-pollinate, yeah.
That's the only way to get the word out, and we do it slowly but surely. So who else we got? CSL is we're going to hear more from him in the future as well. So CSL, do you have any final comments before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no, it's just been a pleasure to be here, and I've been a follower of Tim Osmond and IPS and a subscriber for a long time, so it's great to hear his voice. Simon, you've been a great influence on my worldview, especially with the September Clues, and I guess if there's any final thoughts that I could share, it'd be like, if you have not watched September Clues, anyone listening, The time is now, even 24 years later, because it is the penultimate. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say of the media hoax.
Yeah, I think it's the ultimate
of the age.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think it's the ultimate because the penultimate is the second last.
Oh, is it? Oh, I always thought it was the top, but we can look it up.
The ultimate, then, yeah.
The ultimate. It's the ultimate, yeah.
And if anyone wants to support Simon and his work, there's a donate button on the bottom. Everything we do is pretty much value for value. You pay whatever you think it's worth to you. That's my site. That's Simon's site. All the research is free. All the videos are free. There's no paywalls. It makes us a little more vulnerable because people, when they get free things, sometimes they don't value it. But I think people should value the work because it stood the test of time. And I haven't found anyone that's convincingly come even close to debunking even a piece of it. Make sure you support independent content creators. And Simon will let us know when his new album comes out this year.
Now, Tim, I hope you're going to let me have a closing comment.
Yeah, you will. Hold on. Let Simon say something. You'll get one.
No, I'll let you know. It should be ready by November.
Okay.
New album. If you're interested in our new music, I think, with my band, we try to make an album a year. It's our tradition. We try to make at least one album a year. And this one is, I think it's funny because I also have some politically important
politics,
and some political, very, very, very slight political. There is a song that talks, that has the voice of Richard Nixon when he talked by telephone to the guys who had landed on the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of your songs?
And it's called Phoning the Moon.
That's on the new album?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be good. So you got some clips from that.
Yeah, so I've stolen the original audio of Richard Nixon talking to Buzz and
Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah,
that'll be fantastic. So you worked that into a song. Did you make the song around that, or did you just insert it into your already crafted lyrics and music?
I downloaded the best quality audio of Richard Nixon talking to the guys on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. I mean, he was supposed.
Are you saying you don't believe it?
I'm saying I don't believe it. Yes.
And Anton in the X chat is saying you heard Susie Wiles, who is Trump's White House manager or communication manager, I believe, say today that the Kirk shooting reminds her of 9/11, and it really contributes to the Kirk event being fake because of the association directly with 9/11 by someone like her. So already we're linking the two events.
All right. Can we do like we did in the old times, the good old times, a little podcast? I mean, of yours with when the new album comes out, and we can choose a few songs which are maybe interesting for the listeners.
I'd love it. I'm always here, and I'll try and up the audio quality for you if I can.
All righty.
I forgot that comment. Don't worry. So we'll do what we can to make this sound really good.
Your audio quality has been growing in
Is it
over the
okay?
years.
Okay, well,
it sounds good now.
All right, well, that's good. I try and make it. I balance quality with size because most people are.
Yeah, you remember I scolded you for sending the music in bad quality.
I know. I've never forgot it. But I think today's donation will make you forgive me for at least a year.
Because I work like crazy to make my music sound like the big productions.
Sure.
It's lots of hard work, but if you send it on very low quality,
32 bits per second, that makes you nuts. You need 128 or 256.
Right? You see.
I got you. We'll do that. You let me know. I love your music, so I'm gonna close out with "Speed," which is one of my favorite tracks from September soundtrack. We have to give the last word to a regular co-host, Frank the Salt Guy from Geelong.
Sure.
Well, you don't have to give, but what I do want is the thing that's on my mind is what has come out of today is remembering that we are being bombarded with falsehood.
Yes.
The key issue for me about 9/11 is that men and women picked up guns and went to war and possibly killed people. There are many people that dispute that.
Yes.
My biblical point of view is simply remember that you are required as part of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill.
Or you shall not bear false witness.
And thou shalt not bear false witness. There's another one. What I would really want to point out to people is the importance of what we are hearing here today is to inform us of the actions we take. Men and women that picked up guns and went away to war and killed people, if that's what happened, without and as I said many times, many of them were made to sign agreements that they accepted what they were doing. They had to sign an agreement that they were going to commit an illegal thing.
Yeah.
The key issue for me about all of this 9/11 thing has been, regardless of what even on the approved narrative, it was still not okay for men and women to go over to foreign countries and do what they did. War is illegal. There is a law written between the countries that war is illegal.
And they don't even declare war. They just say it's a security.
And they didn't even declare war. So the men and women that went over and did these things, when you are being deceived in this way, it is, well, I'm going to say it's a salvation issue, but let's lay that aside. Think about what's going on. And I understand that the number of veterans that are suffering as a result of what's gone on is
they're
enormous.
Suffering for the lie that they had to carry out.
Yeah, they've undertaken acts which were injurious to their well-being. People have, when we talk about the sacrifice that have been made, my view is, okay, we've been jovial about this. I've been jovial about it, but this is a very serious issue. The things that the actions that people take against their moral compass as a result of being deceived are, well, again, I can overplay it, but in the end, we need to make decisions which are based on our values. And I've accepted the view that, as the Bible says, that these things are written on our heart. And so I guess that's my closing message. And I obviously
very biblical.
Congratulate all the contributors on the work they've done over the time. Simon, IPS, CSL, you guys are doing a tremendous.
They're doing God's work.
I mean, not everybody, I know, accepts God exists. I'm a person that accepts that we live in a creation and that therefore there is a creator. That's laying aside the point. It doesn't alter the fact that the contribution of the people here today to, in my opinion, the spiritual uplifting of people is incalculable. And I thank you all.
Thank you, Frank. Tim Osmond?
Yeah, that brings up something that I think is extremely pertinent, because you're talking about whether it's real or fake, how we respond to it, and the real world effects. And one of the things that's happening right now is you have a large number of people, famous people, celebrities, people in the news, professors, teachers, and students cheering on the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, whether or not it's real or fake, they think it's real. They're deceived by it if it isn't real, but their response is revealing something very dark about the culture. And
I agree.
And that's a point that right now, I think you're right. There is a seriousness to this that we have to consider. So thanks for that.
All right, and let me just compare at the end. I put this video up, this Google Trends page up. I'm comparing 9/11 and Charlie Kirk as search terms today worldwide, and you can see the graph. Red is Charlie Kirk, and 9/11 is in blue. And here's the breakdown here by country, by region. So you can see that blue 9/11 is only 15%. and everything else is Charlie Kirk. So they really changed the channel on us yesterday, and and that's sort of how we started off today's show. So this is Google Trends.
Another excellent insight by you, Simon. Congratulations.
We'll even look just in Italy, and let's see what Italy. It's even worse. It's even worse. So everyone is in Italy searching for Charlie Kirk, and it doesn't. 9/11 doesn't even register in the city of Veneto or Lombardy.
That's why I'm so happy that we didn't slip into the Charlie Kirk thing tonight.
Yeah.
Yep, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Simon. We really appreciate you coming on. We'll have to have you on a little more often than once a year. And we got some good reviews here in the chat. Frank Echo Charlie says, excellent, Frank. And Anton says, great show.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a question. Maybe you Catholics can answer this. Great show. I was wondering if you'd ever be interested as the fakeologist in discussing the emergence of a fake version of the Catholic Church at the election of anti-Pope John 23 on October 28, 1958. Is a fascinating topic with a lot.
Of course I would.
Okay. That's pretty deep. I don't know if Simon, you live closer to the Vatican. Does that sound interesting?
All right.
I don't know. If you want to donate drink water, it's real easy. You can use PayPal. You can use Bitcoin and Satoshis. Hopefully, I'm going to get Simon to download the wallet of Satoshi or whatever he can so he can receive donations instantly as well. I want to get Simon into the different currency before he to keep him current as well. I think Bitcoin is where it's at least for the immediate future. So Simon, if you want, it's wallet of Satoshi. I have one at fakeologist.com/donate. You can go onto my website and donate in a million different ways, including the Lightning Network, which is the Bitcoin network. It's very fast. The money goes right through, and there is no commission for PayPal or anyone else. So we're going to close out listening to Speed. That's, I think, one of my favorite tracks, Simon. And what album is that from?
Speed. That's probably from the second album we did, 2006, I think. Yeah,
it's one of my favorites, and it's also on the September Clues soundtrack, of course. And the voice you hear is Simon Shack. Simon, thank you so much for coming up. Coming on at the last minute. I asked you at the last minute.
Yeah.
And thanks for showing up and staying up late.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Great show. We'll see everyone on the Discord on the weekend for various chits and chats. And this is Speed. Thank you, guys. Have a great one. Take care.
Have a great one. Okay. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya. Thank you.
I never worry. I'm in a hurry to die. As life goes by, I never hurry. I never worry. I'm in a hurry to die. As life goes by. As long as life goes by, I never hurry. I never worry. I'm in no hurry to die.
when I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire. So I just kind of like ran over and I tried to like put the fire out on him. And he was like screaming, and I just told him to roll, and he said he can't.
He caught fire as a result of the falling debris?
Yeah.
As life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. As life As life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. I'm in a hurry to die.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, actually. We have breaking news. This out of downtown Manhattan.